Seeing that you don't have to go to college to actually start your own business. Nowadays, man, there's so many avenues right now that you can learn something, build it, grow, and be successful at it. Meaning that you can run a successful business, a business that operates and is fully functional without ever having sat in a college classroom.
I have several businesses where I just make way more money than that actual college degree what it actually taught me. So, like I say, I have nothing against college when you go in there to actually meet people, connect with people. If you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be a doctor, stuff like that. But outside of that, college is, to me, is a waste of time, in my personal opinion.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to this episode of Unethical and Accountable. I'm Cameron Floyd.
And Dwayne Walden.
And today we're going to touch on a very, very controversial topic. So a lot of us growing up, we were taught that in order to be successful, right? In order to reach all your goals and achieve everything that you wanted to achieve, to live the American dream, that you had to go to college. Like college was no option not going to college. So today we're going to touch on, is college really necessary for you to be successful?
So before we actually get into this topic, I would like to let you guys know that this show is being sponsored by Rhino Academy. If you are looking to raise your credit score from the 400, the 500, the 600 club into the high 700 and 800 club, make sure you head over to rhinoacademy.com, where they will teach you for free how to fix, repair, and leverage your credit, guys. It's very important to have good credit in this world. With good credit, you can get high limit credit cards and then turn those high limit credit cards into actual assets, guys. So if you want to learn how to do all this for free, make sure you head over to www.rhinoacademy.com.
All right. So to get started, just a simple question. So growing up, what were you taught about, being successful and success as it relates to college?
Yeah, so for sure, me growing up, my parents, my mother, he was like, yo, you had to go to college if you want to be successful. You had to get a good job. It was just something you had to do. You had to, if you want to be a dummy, you don't go to college. If you want to be successful, you go to college, work for corporate America, and make those big bucks. That's basically what I was taught, growing up.
And it was sort of similar for me. And it wasn't necessarily my household, but it was everything around me was telling me, you need to go to college. I was playing football when I was younger, and I had, a high GPA. So everybody, and I thought I was gonna play in the NFL. Everybody think they're gonna when they play football, but I knew that I was going to college simply because of that, but also because I was told, you go to college if you want to be successful. You go to college if you want to succeed. So it wasn't necessarily my household. It was something that was, encouraged. Go to college and do that. But it was definitely something I saw all around me. Like, I got to go to college because I saw nothing else, no other opportunities for me to be successful. So next, just talk about your collegiate experience and how it impacted your perspective on, education and being successful.
So, just to even start, shout out to my best friend to this day. I wasn't even thinking about going to college. Like, when I graduated high school, I was working at, Target, a regular 9 to 5, and I was comfortable making, I think at the time we was making like $7 an hour. Like, that was my goal. Like, I'm good, making the $7 an hour. And then, my best friend to this day who I met at Target was like, what you gonna do with your life? Like, you gonna be a dummy, man? Like, you need to go to college, make something of yourself. And, the sweet part is you can actually get paid going to college. Like, that's what I was told. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So, I made my way. So, I went to Miami-Dade College, and, I made my way there, and I was like, I fell in love when I actually got out there. It was a different experience that I never had in life. I actually sat down and put some thought into, like, what is it that I actually want to do in life when I, was finished talking with my best friend. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go get this degree in psychology. A lot of people don't even know I went to school. I got an associate in psychology. So, I was, happy, but, eventually later on as I start processing and growing my mind at a bigger race in life more than others, I noticed that it's bigger than college, and I just, eventually figured out that college wasn't for me. And then of course that leads me into other entrepreneur adventures that I basically conquered later on in my life. So.
All right. And for me, it was a bit different. I mean, as I said before, man, when I was growing up, it was all around me. So I knew, when I graduated high school, I already knew where I was going before that semester came. That before it was like January, I knew where I was going. I knew what I was going to do. I thought I was going to be able to play football, so that made me even more excited to go to college. And when I got there, it was a great experience, man. Right. Like, the people, just meeting so many people and doing so many things. That was, I would say, the most memorable part of going to college, a 4-year college, because that's what I did.
Most definitely.
But that experience did open up my eyes to to see the system for what it is, man, and it's a system. So it's a system that is operate and funds a lot of things in this country. It's a money making system, man. So a lot of things that I saw and I experienced, nobody told me how to navigate those things. Yep. Whether that be people before me, because I was a first generation college graduate, nobody told me how to navigate these things the best way possible. And the main thing I'm getting at is financially. The main thing I'm getting at is the student debt. Is managing your finances, is setting up a plan to navigate college without going into debt.
Before you actually get into that, I like to actually say, you said something very valuable that that I think that's what college is actually for, the connections. When I actually went to Miami-Dade, I connected with a lot of people that I could truly say, I'm glad I connected with them. Outside of that, like I say, the backbone to what the universities and what college is actually for America is a whole different category. But I would say, the connections you meet at these universities and colleges is for sure it's a plus and it's a bonus.
Yeah, and that was the most fulfilling part for me, meeting new people, being somewhere that I haven't been before, doing new things. I got a chance to learn myself more and see what I was capable of, just being away from home, not knowing what my next meal was going to be, but figuring it out, and then not knowing how to get an apartment, and then happening to do that, and all those things that helped me become an adult, helped me develop and
Most
become
definitely.
a man. So I definitely appreciate it for those things. But there were also a lot of things that weren't addressed. You signing up for college, right? They don't tell you these loans that you're getting. They don't sit down with you at a table and say, "Hey, this is how it's going to impact you after you graduate. This is a way that you can alleviate that." They don't do that. So this is something I had to deal with. And we gonna circle back to that topic, but first I want to get into the next topic, which is, do you believe, from your experiences, if college is necessary to be successful? And then I want you to define success and what that means for you.
So just to actually to get into what success is, I just think success is basically what is your goal at the end of the day, right? And did you achieve that goal? To me, that's what success is, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own view of what success is or what their success is, right? Somebody could go to college and get a 4-year degree as a teacher, and now they feel like they succeeded in the world, which is nothing wrong with that. And then you got those who think if you're not making a certain amount of income, whether you're making $100K, $1 million, $1 billion, some consider that successful. So honestly, success is just all about what you think is successful, right? It doesn't matter how much you make and stuff like that. It's just if you're doing something that, one, makes you happy, and then if you're able to make an income behind it, to me, that's what success is. So I'm able to do everything financially, freedom in my life. So right now I'm still, basically chasing my goals, but right now, success is just basically knocking off my bucket list one at a time. That's what success is. Now, my point of view of college, as you already know, I have a way different point of view of college. When I first started going to Miami-Dade, I could truly say I fell in love, because at the end of the day, I had no intentions of even going to college. So, it's like Miami-Dade to me, Wilson Campus, shout out to Wilson Campus. That's like a whole university experience, man. The environment, the experience I met, the people out there I met, the activities I got in, the fun I had when I was when I was young out there in college. It was fun. But as I continued to develop my mind while I was in college, I started reading more. I started learning different things that I never even was taught, back when I was a teen, in my teen stages, while I was in high school. And as I continued to actually figure out what I actually want in life, I figured out that college, wasn't what I want. College couldn't teach me how to, as everyone already know, I love real estate, right? I love real estate. I love flipping houses. I love renting out houses to tenants and stuff like that. College couldn't teach me that, right? So I went to college to get a degree in psychology. And then when I actually find out which degree that I wanted to actually get into, I finished up my degree, which was psychology. Then I figured out I wanted to get into real estate. So I thought that I had to actually go to school once again to go get my realtor license. I thought I had to go do a 4-year degree at a school to become a realtor, because that's how I wanted to start. And then kind of find out, doing more research, I ain't even need to go to school to become a realtor. Yeah. I could have easily got a trade.
And that's something that a lot of people are not told.
None whatsoever, man. I was like, so I eventually signed right back up. I was like, all right, let me go get this degree in real estate. So I was like, and then doing some more research, I'm like, I don't even need to go to school for this. So I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. It's a whole Monopoly game going on right now.
It's a Monopoly.
Yeah. So I was like, eventually I venture away from school. I have a friend, like my same best friend, he went on and finished up his bachelor's degree and stuff like that. I was like, yo, this not for me. I'm going the straight entrepreneur route. I went ahead and went into, real estate. And then as we know today, as you already know, I have trucks in my name. I have real estates in my name. I have several businesses where I just make way more money than that actual college degree would actually taught me. So, like I say, I have nothing against college when you go in there to actually meet people, connect with people. If you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be a doctor, stuff like that. But outside of that, college is, to me, it's a waste of time in my personal opinion.
And as far as, so I gotta disagree with you partially on that. I do think that success is something that's self-defined. So every person has something different that they would put into them actually being successful. And whatever that is, they made up in their mind that once I achieve this, right, once I'm able to travel every week and still be stable and still maintain my household, I'm successful. Or somebody may just say, I graduated college, I got a full-time job, nobody has ever done that, I'm successful. But my idea of success is, just being able to, maintain my household, being able to maintain the lifestyle that I want to live, being able to live freely and, do as I please, but also, give back at the same time. So that's, I know it's a very vague explanation of it, but that's honestly, once I'm in that mindset, that state where I can do those things and provide for my family, not just my immediate family, but just for my loved ones that, may not, be able to do that themselves, I'll feel like I'm successful. So just going back to the topic of if I believe, college is necessary, absolutely necessary for success. I don't. And that's due to my experience and me going there. And I can say that I've been successful in achieving my goals, as it relates to going to college and, pursuing my profession, but I don't believe it's absolutely necessary. Seeing all the things that, I've seen, and seeing that you don't have to go to college to, become licensed in real estate. Seeing that you don't have to go to college to actually start your own business. Nowadays, man, there's so many avenues right now that you can learn something, build it, grow, and be successful at it. Meaning that you can run a successful business, a business that operates and is fully functional without ever having sat in a college classroom. And I don't think that's something that's been told to people enough. Hey, you want to do this? Matter of fact, what do you want to do first? Tell me what you want to do. All right, these are the different ways you can achieve whatever you want to pursue in life. That conversation it's not being had. It's more so being told. Go to college, learn how to do this, learn a bunch of other things on the curriculum that's not necessarily have anything to do with what you're interested in, because they want you to be, able to say that you're, you know, competent in multiple areas when you go to college. So
I think that's the problem too, also, because, you know, it's this stigma that's out there in the air where it's like, you know, if you don't go to a university, you don't get this job. You don't qualify to get this job, right? But, you know, as we continue to grow, it's big corporations out here where they don't even care if you have a degree. They want people that actually got the skill set,
experience, and the skill set.
Like if you don't have the experience, like me, I grew up, you know, working in the corporate America in the hospitality where you got people, they come out with their 4-year degree, and then, you know, they become a manager, but then you got those who actually work their way up in the Marriott company, what I used to work for, where they actually work their way up to become that manager, right? And then they is more advanced and skilled than that person actually coming out with that 4-year degree. And it actually shows. It shows because, you know, especially when you jumping out with this 4-year degree, yeah, you might be book smart, but you're not more hands-on.
Not hands-on.
Yeah, you don't know how to be hands-on with, once again, I'm talking about the hospitality world, but it goes hand in hand with just about everything else.
I can personally attest to that because, you know, I achieved my bachelor's degree, and I went right into my master's degree. But in applying for positions in my field, you know, I saw that, you know, I wasn't being considered, you know, and that's because I didn't have any of the experience.
Yeah.
You know, I had, you know, internships. I did all those, you know, part-time, but I didn't have full-time equivalent experience that would make me, you know, that would deem me as eligible to, you know, hold those positions or, you know, do certain, you know, things or hold certain titles. So that's something I saw, you know, out the gate that, you know, nobody was talking about. You know, when I was in college, everybody, you know, was talking about getting involved in organizations, volunteering, doing those types of things. But it wasn't stressed, you know, the importance of maybe go to class, right? Go to class, but then try to find a full-time position, you know, whether that's, you know, in person or online. Try to find a full-time position or something that's directly in your field that you can do that will give you that experience, you know, because, you know, normally it's for a semester. When you graduate, they're going to see that semester and they're going to say, well, that's nowhere near you part-time, man. It's nowhere near a year of experience.
And then shit, just even add on, you know, these people, they tell you to go to school, and then even when you graduate, you like, because I seen it from my own eyes with you, you know, you graduate and you struggling to get this job. It's like you got the perfect credentials, right? Because that's basically what they told you to do, and yet you still struggling to find a job. Like, yo, I thought that was the purpose of me going to college. It was once I graduate, I should easily find a job. And like I say, that's how they set you up. They make everything glamorous on the outside, but deep down on the inside is deeper than thought. And so, you know, it passed by a lot of people in life where, you know, like I say, even our parents, they say, yo, you have to go to school, and if you don't go to school, you're just gonna be the garbage man on the street. You know, you go be a no life. But truth be told, you know, it's a lot of people out here with trade skills that make way more money than these actual people that went to school with these 4-year degrees. So, you know, that's why I will always knock. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in skill set, trade sets, because that's what I know build America up. I'm a big believer in that, and I'm always stick by that. So,
yeah. So now I'm gonna get into the facts, man. So in America, there's an estimate of 43.2 million student borrowers that are in an average debt of $39,351 each. And the thing about this is the key thing to pinpoint about this is that the average public university student borrows $30,000 to attain their bachelor's degree. And studies show that, you know, people who are graduating college with their bachelor's degree are not even making above $30,000. So once they come out of that 4-year degree program, guess what? That debt is more than their worth at that point.
Yeah, then the interest rate kick right in.
So guess what? When they're going to get that house, what happens? They can't get that house.
The first thing the bank look at is like, oh, we see you paying some student loans. Let me deduct that down. And so now you got a cheaper now you got a chance of getting approved for a certain amount when you got student debt.
So if you're already at $30,000, right, and you're applying for, you know, to buy a home, because getting a home is one of the key indicators of, you know, wealth and financial stability.
The American dream.
that's, wealth is directly correlated to you owning a home.
Most definitely.
But if you owe 30,000 and you make 30,000, what can you afford at that point, right?
Yep. But I say that's the things that they don't teach you. Like I said, they make college look all glamorous, but once you actually graduate, that's when real life actually really kicks in. Like, okay, so some of these people got $150,000 of college debt, and like you say, now they go tackle on the car payment.
And the 30,000, that's public. That's a public university.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what the private universities would be like.
Me being a big fan, I remember I looked up their tuition. I was like, oh, these people paying this tuition? Like that's crazy to me, man. But it is what it is. Like you say, you tackle on this big debt once you leave college. Then you go get a mortgage 9 times out of 10 because you just believe you earn this house. So now you probably, depending on your income base and whatever, now you got this $250,000 house in your name. Now you got a car payment because you want to ride in the latest car. So now you're tackling on another payment. When it's all said and done, it's like, is it really worth it?
And just to add on to that, with all those things. So in recent years, the average college graduate, and this is no age restriction on that, the average college graduate with just a bachelor's degree was earning about $78,000. But to go back to what you were saying, if you graduate with a bachelor's degree, and let's say you 40 years old, right? You 40 years old. By that time, and you making $78,000, right? By that time, you probably got 2 kids, right? You probably got a house. You probably got 1 or 2 cars.
Yep.
So what can you afford at that point? What can you do to feel like you're successful at that point?
It's nothing. And then just to even add on, like from research, what I find that to compare a college degree with a trade degree, I find out that on average you could go to trade school for about $33,000, and you can actually make way more money in that trade field. Like I find a list of jobs where, okay, you paying on average $33,000, and some trades don't even cost that much. You have trades out there that's like $7,000, $10,000, and you making like $100,000 when it's all said and done. So like I'm looking at dental, hygienist, air traffic controller, construction manager,
something like an electrician.
Like all these people make good money. Like you can make up to, I know some, well, I personally know electrician. It's funny you said it. He's actually an electrician, a general contractor, but he's certified an electrician. He makes well over $100,000 a year, and I know for a fact that's only like $10,000 to go get that trade. But once again, you got people that actually go to college for the same degree, and then they walking out with a whole boatload of debt loans. So, I think it should. Honestly, I think they should actually advocate for more trades than they actually do college. But once again, would America actually profit off of trades than they would with college or universities?
And the thing is, because nowadays there's been a big debate on whether student loan debt should be canceled. And honestly, myself personally, I don't think it's possible. Because the government has so much that's already counting on this funding from student loan debt with Sally Mae and everything, that it would completely just crumble the economy. We wouldn't be able to sustain our livelihoods in America if student loan debt was completely canceled, because it's such a money maker, and it's such a big part of the American economy with public universities, people on in the trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that's something else to think about. Another fact that I have here is that it says that black households, college graduates with college graduates in their 30s has their median net worth has fallen to $8,200 from $50,400 3 decades ago. and over the same period, our white counterparts, their median net worth grew 17%. So again, it's just showing you again that you can go to college, and then once you try to pursue the American dream, you won't have the money to.
And truth be told, I hate to bring race into this, but that's America. It's like we're afraid to actually talk about race, and like I say, I know it hurts the black community more because, facts is just facts. Whether you agree or not. But it's nothing you could tell me that this educated black man versus this educated white male, they going for the same position. Who already has the leverage, the white male or the black male? Do you have some black males that actually make it in corporate America at the highest position? Most definitely. Do they struggle their way up? You best believe it. Do they have to prove themselves 10 times more? Most definitely. Do they actually have to, it's like they have to work 10 times more harder than their other peers? And like you say, it's a race war, whether people want to believe it or not, in America when it comes to, we graduating with these degrees, getting into depth, and then actually trying to find a job that match the degree that we got to tackle on the depth that we actually take on. That's what I think America should talk about, especially in the black community, because once again, it's like we competing with other race where I got turned down personally, and I have several trades in my name that I know I qualify. Even when I was in corporate America, I made it to managing position, whatever, but it was a struggle. I had to work 10 times harder than the person that actually came in, who basically got the same qualifications as me. I had to work 10 times harder, and then I think that's what America don't actually talk about. When it comes to this, we in Black America, when we already struggle, our income don't match us. We still going to these colleges, these universities, taking on these huge responsibilities, and then at the end of the day, a lot of us get slapped with the door in our face. So I think that's a big problem.
I agree, man. And just to wrap up the topic, man. So what's the solution? We discussed, the student loan crisis that we're facing. We discussed the, disparity and wealth that we have in the black community compared to our counterparts, and how that actually impacts our success rates when it comes to going to college, graduating, and then getting out of college, and you can't afford to even just simply get a house or a car. So what's the solution to it? Because American in our society, we're being taught to go to college by any means necessary in order to be successful. We're being taught to go to college. So how do we address this unethical thought process that we have in America nowadays with so much that's available to us? Where do we start as far as holding ourselves accountable to be better within our community, as far as ensuring that those behind us are successful?
So I can only use me as an example, right? Because you can only learn from those that are around you. First thing first, you must surround yourself with those of great minds. If you hang around with trash, you're gonna get trash. If you hang around with those with wealth, your mind is gonna start thinking about wealth. Like I say, I never even thought that I would have went to college if it wasn't for my best friend. To this day, that's my man. So it never even crossed my mind. Just by him convincing me to go to college to do better in my life, mentally, that set off for the greater things that account in the future of my life. So first thing first, you must surround yourself with those of greater minds. Now, outside of that, we especially in our culture, we have to truly understand that you technically don't need college. You need the skills. If you could actually build up a skill that is equivalent to making a lot of money, go ahead and go to trade school. You got I'm gonna use the medical field for example. We have a lot of nurses, right? You don't have to go to a 4-year college to become a nurse. I know a lot of nurses that just went ahead and went to the trade school, got their nursing certificate, and they made well over 100K, 80K.
And with these technical high schools and all those schools, they doing that nowadays in high school.
Yeah, just go ahead and learn the skill set. That's the best advice I can actually give somebody. Go ahead. We living in a time where I think corporate world is actually catching up with it, but it's slow behind. But go learn the trade. I'm a big advocate of entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? I believe in several, incomes. When I went to college, like I say, I thought I wanted to become a psychologist. Come to find out, that's not what I wanted. Eventually, I got into real estate, a hand-on skill. That's a trade that I had to learn how to do, and that's something no one can't take away. There's no one controlling my destiny. I don't have to walk and apply for job interviews when it comes to real estate. It's just me learning how to fix my credit, learning how to leverage my credit, and then going ahead and learning the industry and then going ahead and putting everything that I learned from my skill sets to my credit to my knowledge all together in one package and go out there and execute it.
So you're saying, so just for those out there, because he dropping some gems right now. For those out there that's listening right now. So in place of, you're saying in place of, going and getting that 4-year degree and getting those loans for that, why not, you earn that trade, that skill? So why not invest?
Before we ask, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, right?
Okay.
So I have this thing where I want to compare bankruptcy versus actually college, right? So when you think about bankruptcy, a lot of people think bankruptcy is just, oh my gosh, you file bankruptcy, you go broke. Oh, you broke. Oh, you don't have this and that. Bankruptcy is actually a good thing. I look at bankruptcy as like the creme dollar of getting out of situations you don't put yourself in, right? So when we think about college, what is college? College is debt. When you think about people filing bankruptcy, what is they filing? Debt, right? So I think they should compare bankruptcy and colleges hand in hand, and this is my reason, right? So you 18, I'm 18, right? We fresh out of high school. And you had a decision to make. Should I go on to college, right? You decided to go to your college. We know where you went at. And you decided when you graduate this 4-year degree, you're going to have at least $80,000 and $100,000 in debt, right? But me, I said, you know what? I'm going to take the credit route. I'm going to fix my credit. I'm going to learn the whole credit industry. And I'm going to raise my credit high enough to where I'm able to get that same $80,000 to $100,000 in debt that you tackle in college. Now, let's say once you graduate your 4-year degree, you decide to go out there and look in your field, whatever, you looked in your field. Now, I have 4 years to basically match you, right? But I have, the only difference is I leverage my credit in that first year, and now my second year, I have 100K to 80 to 100K to work with. That same debt you go conquer in 4 years. Now I have that in my second year. I go ahead in my third year, my second and third year, I go ahead and let's just say real estate because I love real estate. I went ahead and invested that 100K into some real property, right? Let's say we flipping because I like flipping houses, right? So I flip this house every 6 months, 6 to 7 months. I flip this 100K. Now I'm making on average 20K per house I flip. So I'm literally calculating that same debt I just took out back down right away. You on the other hand, you just graduated this 4-year college, right? Now you in debt and you out here struggling to find a job. But you cannot find a job. You cannot find a job because it is what it is. It's hard to find a job sometimes, even if you got the credentials. But me on the other hand, I got this debt and I'm just out here succeeding. But let's just say that the economy crashed, right? And my house fell down below market value. I have to pay all this debt back. You on the other hand, you got this college debt. You still struggling to find this job. Chances of you actually deleting your college debt is harder. It's hard to wipe out a bankruptcy. It's hard to file bankruptcy for college debt. It's just hard. That's just something, it is what it is. You just stuck in that situation. But me on the other hand, I could file, it is what it is. I could file bankruptcy, right? I filed bankruptcy. I done lost everything. They forgive me. This is facts. You could file bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy. They clear this 100K debt that I took out from the beginning, right? They take my properties away because they need to conquer some of the debt that I took on. Once they forgive me, I literally get to start all over again, fix my credit right back from the beginning. A lot of people don't know that. No, they don't. No, but that conversation is never had. But they won't tell you this. I could literally start my life all over again, build my credit right back up, and take that same risk. The only risk is I cannot file bankruptcy again until 7 years. I could get that bankruptcy removed off my credit report, though, of a snap of a finger in like 2-3 months. But I can't file bankruptcy again. Now, we could go into the situation where you go build a business and everything is in the business name and file business bankruptcy. But once again, we only talk about filing personal credit. It could get deeper than that, but this is the stuff they don't teach you. They won't teach you. So that's why I say, bankruptcy versus actually a 4-year degree. I could debate that all day, but once again, that's a topic for another discussion.
and because you're dropping gems right now, and just to wrap it up, I believe that the solution to this, like you said, is you got to evaluate at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? We got to put this down on paper, right? Look at it side by side. Do I want to go get this 4-year degree? Now, if you're getting a degree, you saying you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or you want to be an engineer. 9 times out of 10, you got to go that route. But let's not just blindly do this, right? Let's find a way for us to go to college. If we're gonna do the 4-year education. Let's find a way to minimize the cost of it. Let's also find a way to capitalize on our networking, right? Let's also find a way to capitalize on what's being offered, meaning organization opportunities, all those things. Let's capitalize on it. But if you know that you want to do this for the rest of your life, or you think that you want to just do this, you only want to do this, you don't have any interest in going to college, invest in yourself.
Most definitely.
That's the solution. A lot of people aren't, willing or
no, we scared.
Yeah, they scared and they don't know how, and no one ever did it before them. But we gotta start. It starts with us informing those kids in high school, because those conversations aren't being had. No, start your own business in high school. You can do it. You got the time. Wow.
But then again, you could go to a 4-year degree and you could go take a class called business education. 4-year degree, and you don't learn shit about business. So it's just.
So at the end of the day, just to close the discussion, we gotta start educating ourselves and educating our teens and our youth that's thinking about doing something with their lives so that they can be successful.
Most definitely.
We gotta hold ourselves accountable as adults, that people that have experienced it, both experienced the 4-year degree way, the master's degree, and the entrepreneurship route. When you get your associates, so we gotta start educating, and this is for all the viewers as well. We gotta educate ourselves first, hold ourselves accountable, and pursue our dreams so that we can be successful, as well as those that's following behind us, that's looking up to us, can be successful as well. Again, I'm Cameron Floyd.
And I'm Dwayne Walden.
Thank you for joining us, Ethical and Accountable.
See you on the next show. Peace.